Greetings everybody, Uath here. I thought I'd just shoot a little educational video in regards to my opinion when it comes to digital two-way radios, walkie-talkies, and what their limitations are and what you can expect, how they operate, the best conditions they operate under and the worst conditions they operate under. And so we're just gonna I have a lot of experience with these radios because I'm a flagger by trade during the summer, during the seasons. And so I use them a lot. And so I know their limitations and I know their capabilities. With these radios and Wyoming stuff, that I particularly got here, the Midland GXTs, I've gotten out 12 miles. You know what I mean? But we're going to be talking about that and conditions and what have you stuff, best conditions and bad conditions. All right, thank you. We'll talk to you in a bit. As you can see, we have a little opening here that this is basically the main part of the canyon. As you can see, it where it just goes off into the deep blue over here. That goes down the canyon, down into the valley. And as you can see, I'm where I'm currently at in regards to my camp and everything and stuff. I'm in like a little bowl, a clearing, a little bowl right here. And so if there was somebody clear up on top of Dry Mountain there, that's called Dry Mountain, and if there was somebody up there or up on top of this mountain right here, up on top of here, we'd have no problems, with communication and stuff like that. We'd probably be able to talk to each other really, really well. Now, Dry Mountain, up over here, it's probably a good, 4 miles away, maybe even 5, because all the way down to the mouth of the canyon is 10. So, right now, okay, so I'm probably getting traffic out of the valley. And as you can see, it's kind of breaking up and everything and stuff. This is a popular channel, number 6. It's a power channel. Some channels and stuff, you don't get your full 5 watts of power. So now I'm walking further clear over to where I'm getting more of a break down into the valley. And so, I'm receiving transmissions 10 miles away, if not further. Okay, so now there's that blue truck parked down there where my camp is. And I walked up this trail, but I have a lot of trees in front of me. So I'm going to put on my scan here. And see if we get any reception from any place. So it doesn't look like it. Let's see if we can get a radio check. Radio check. Can I get a radio check? Is there anybody out there that can copy me? Okay, so I'm not getting anything. Now, the thing about it is with these trees, they would be interfering with my ability to transmit out. It also interfered with my ability to receive, but I'm going to be able to receive other people from further distances away than what I could get out on trying to talk, trying to transmit a message. So it's important to understand that too as well. Okay, so over here to this is the north right here. through this break through the trees. And that mountain there is called Loafer Mountain, and it goes on down and then actually comes down into Payson Canyon. If somebody was on top of there or anywhere within that break of the trees, I'd be able to transmit and receive really well. We'd be able to communicate really, really well. When you have a lot of obstacles, like even these trees in the way and stuff like that, that's going to break up your ability to not only receive but to transmit, but more to transmit. I might be able to hear them talking to me and stuff, but they wouldn't if I'm, you know, in a bunch of trees like this and they're in the way of a direct line of reception and transmission, then they wouldn't be able to hear me. Okay, so here's my camp area. There's a road, and off there you can see my trailer, and then just below me is that truck that's parked in there. Anyway, so we're gonna try another spot real quick, and so now I'm like directly east of that blue truck that's camped down there by my camp. And as you can see Dry Mountain. You can see the other mountain there. On the other side, that's Dry Lake. You got some down in the valley. Got a few breaks in the trees there. You got some breaks over here on Loafer. And then this is the west side of Jones's. Up on top of that mountain there is where Jones's, North Jones's begin. Jones's Ranch is what they call it. So it's important to try to stay on high ground to where you can get up above all the obstructions and stuff. And so this nice, so that's going down into another little ravine there, cul-de-sac, and then of course you got my camp down there. Now straight up above me there's a lot of obstructions, unless they're clear up on high ground where you can see the top of the mountains there. You know, you more likely you're not going to get a reception. You won't be able to receive or transmit. You might be able to receive a little bit. You can always receive better from further distances, even with some obstruction, than you can transmit, than you can get out. Always remember that. So it's really, really important to stay up on higher ground. So here is a good OP and what have you stuff, you know, in a survival situation. If you're talking to friends or family members that are out doing some hunting or whatever, and you know, you're keeping them informed of what's going on down around camp or whatever, you know, this right here would be a good spot. So you might have to get out away from your trailer and get your ass off your lounge chair, and might have to walk up a hill a little bit and what have you stuff in order to communicate with your party. So it's really important to understand that the more obstructions that you have between you and your party that you're trying to communicate with, that's between you two, the more difficult it is, and probably the more you know, it's gonna affect your ability to transmit as well as receive. I've been up a Botts Canyon up by Huntsville, and they were redoing the roads up there, and you know, the road will go around a bend, and there'll be the mountainside that'll come down and cut you and your other flagger off, and you're probably only maybe 150, 200 yards away from each other. That's not very far at all, really. But yet, just because that mountain's in between you and them, you know what I mean, it cuts you completely off. You can't transmit or receive whatsoever. So it's important to understand your radios are really good tools to have for survival situations and emergency situations. But you know, and they can get out a long ways, you know. Again, the less obstructions that you have, in between you and your party that you're communicating with, the better, the further they can get out. And especially if you're on higher ground, you know. But the more obstructions and what have you stuff, you know, it's not because the radio is bad. It's just because the radio's frequency and what have you stuff doesn't do well with hitting solid objects. Even with it, when it comes to like branches, trees, leaves, and all that stuff, it will reflect and cut off your signal. Just understand that. Always try to seek higher ground and clear places with less obstructions. One other really important thing I almost forgot, and I can't believe I can't believe I forgot this. But anyway, where to put your walkie-talkie in regards to, some people put it too close, and then the people on the other stand it sounds real muffled and distorted and stuff like that. So where do you know, how close do you have your walkie-talkie to your mouth? You know what I'm saying? So I like to keep it probably about anywhere from 6 to 8 inches. No closer, no further. 6 to 8 inches. That's about, right here is about 8 inches, and about right here is 6 inches. You know, so, and, you know, you get a lot of flaggers that will have them hanging down here and here and here, you know, and they cuss you out and blame your radio for being dysfunctional and stuff because they can't hear you, or because you can't hear them. Is because they got their damn radio down here and stuff, and they're just, you know, you need it up here where you can hear and where you're going to be able to talk clearly. Everybody, this is video number 2. This is Uoth from a serious survival channel in regards to knowing your two-way radios, your digital two-way radios, walkie-talkies, best performances and worst performances under best conditions, worst conditions, etc. So I come down to the entrance of Pete Windward's, where you drive up into my camp. And so the conditions down here are a lot more favorable. As you can see, we do have the Utah County Valley down here. Farthest on the north side of that lake, which is actually northwest, you have Saratoga Springs. On channel 18, I was getting a reception. I was able to clearly communicate with a gentleman there in Saratoga Springs, Utah, on the border of Saratoga and Lehi. Now that far reaches the actual mileage range on the package of the radios when I got them, because it was like 38 miles, I believe, range capability. We're talking 47 here. So 47 miles, that far extends the actual operation range stated on the package of the two-way radios that I have. The Midland GXT. So what you're hearing here now is, this is a gentleman that I was speaking with, and his family, his kids are on here. And that's 47 miles away. I could hear him really good. Obviously, they're running around or doing whatever. The signal's coming in not so well right now. So, and that happens too as well. So, as you can see, that far exceeds the stated mileage range of these radios. And these are fairly old radios. I've had these radios since 2022, and they are awesome radios. Right now I got it. I do have it on high power, which is putting out 5 watts. Some radios have additional channels, which is like a side channel. So you can go 6, 9, 6, 8, 6, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. all the way up, I think, you know, to 20 or 25 or something like that. So it's you know, knowing your radio. You know, like I said, there's nothing wrong with this radio, but there's times I couldn't get out 200 yards, you know, because of obstacles in the way, you know. A lot of objects and stuff in between myself and who I was trying to communicate with, my party or my other flagger, or you know. So there's going to be times when it seems like the radios are going to be a piece of crap, and then there's going to be some times where they're just going to surprise you, and you're going to think, holy cow, you know. I was just talking to a guy in Saratoga Springs, 47 miles away. That's almost 50-mile range. That far exceeds the recommended range on the package when I bought these radios. So, you know, at this point now, for an example, around this, let me see if I can get my finger up here without totally screwing everything up. So this, oh man, come on. So this mountain edge right here, this coming down right here, I don't know. My finger right down here, right there. See where? Yeah, right there. That one right there. Yeah. So, that's on the other side of that. That's where Maple Lake Range is. Okay. So if I was on top of this mountain right here, I would not only be able to reach out there to Saratoga Springs, I'd be able to go up the canyon, I'd be able to talk to people down on Maple Lake, and so I could talk to people wanting stuff over here on Loafer. I could talk to people up over here, a good part of Jones's area, all the way up probably maybe to the Forest Rangers cabins and stuff, you know, to the reservoirs up there at Payson Lakes, and so as well as down in the grotto and stuff. So the higher points you can get, the better, but we don't always have that luxury. And for those that are down in the valley and preppers and stuff like that, in case of, you know, a natural disaster or whatever may happen, the grid go down or whatever it may be, just know that, I mean, if you live out in the country, Utah County is kind of a farming area and stuff until you get into like Spanish Fork, Provo, Springville, you know, all that area, Orem, all the way up into Lehi and stuff. That's pretty congested. You're going to have a lot of obstacles to deal with and stuff, and so your range of transmission as well as receiving is probably not going to be, you know, you'd be lucky to get out 5 miles, just depending on the situation. And down here in the lower part of Utah County, down around Payson, Santa Quin area, Benjamin, Palmyra, you know, all that area there and stuff, Goshen, Alberta, you know, I mean, if I was up on top of West Mountain, I could get all over the place, man. You know, but even down in the valley and stuff, your range, there's not a lot of obstacles. So you're going to be able to get out there a good, you know, any 12, 20 miles easy, you know. So it's important when having stuff to know your radio and the conditions, the best and worst conditions, you know, in order to get the best performance out of your radios. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this was educational, and have a good one. Take care. It's a 4th of July weekend. I'm having a ball.